Two Guys Theorize, a My Dad's Basement podcast. Welcome to the underground.
All right, folks, and welcome back to Two Guys Theorize, a My Dad's Basement podcast where me and one special guest talk about whatever the hottest thing is at the time, and we go into our theories. Just a real quick overview. My Dad's Basement is your hub for everything nerdy in pop culture. I'm talking movies, TV shows, video games, cartoons, action figures, tabletop games, anything you can think of, we're probably talking about it. So real quick, just going to jump straight into it. So once again, I'm Sam D. Man. This is my boy Will over here. Will, if you want to give yourself a brief introduction before we jump into Ahsoka episode 3, go for it.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys? It's and girls. It's Will Ortiz from Brooklyn, New York. Always, forever. Even when I lived in DC, it was still Will from Brooklyn. So we just gonna keep that same MO.
My man Will from Brooklyn. All right, so I have some specific things, bro, that I want to talk about. But before that, I'm gonna ask you real quick. What did you think about the episode overall?
I've never loved the episode and be fearful of an episode at the same time. I thought the episode was great. The dog fights, the interaction between Huang is a G. He's just a straight gangster. Yeah. He don't hold back nothing.
Yeah. Right.
And so everything was well done. You could tell. I know why it was a 30-minute episode, because the money they must have spent on the CGI and that dogfighting thing must have been.
It looked
insane.
like a movie, bro. It looked like a movie.
Yeah, it was movie quality all the way through. But what scared me was also one of the highlights: the Purgles.
Oh, yeah.
Because the first thing I thought was, well, if they're back, it's a possibility that they brought Ezra back.
Right.
And she was waiting. That I was just unnerved. I was like, please. But other than my fear, it was I gave it a solid, like, maybe 9 out of 10. Like the minus being, I wish it was longer. Like, that really was the only problem with the episode. 31 minutes, 6 minutes credits. I was like, other than that, it was really good. And the fact that they're kind of changing, not really changing, but they're doing some EU stuff with the Force.
Oh yeah, big time.
And I was like, so before, nobody could, unless you really had to have it. You really had to have a connection to feel it. Now they're kind of doing. I don't know if you played Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Of course.
Did you see the one where they were fighting for the holocron of all the children that the Jedi rejected? Malgus.
Yeah.
That's what they made it seem like. Like, Sabine is that girl Jedi's brother. That just because she wasn't strong enough, they reject her. Oh yeah, you don't have it, but there's still a way for you
can tap into it.
You can tap into it. And I was like, that's really, wow, that's different from regular lore. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. No, they're definitely pushing this whole like Mandalorian Jedi narrative with Grogu and Sabine, which it makes me curious of like where they're going with it, because obviously Grogu has his own epic path that he's on, like, you know what I mean, where I assume that he's gonna end up linking up with Rey in the future, like, I mean, because they're both just OP, like, you know what I mean, like, like, now I thought about it. That's where I'm thinking the invasion is probably gonna happen if they're smart, like, you know what I mean, in that sequel trilogy with Rey's like 15 years or however many years later, she's got her own academy, and there's some semblance of like, all right, I kind of know what's going on, like, you know what I mean, and then all of a sudden, bam, like Yuuzhan Vong come in, and it's like, oh, okay, we have no idea, and even then with that, you could bring in some of the legacy characters like everybody we're seeing from the Mandoverse, because they, at least Ahsoka or Ezra or whoever that would be familiar with that probably would still be around. But real quick, I thought the episode was good too. Like I said, my only complaint really was also that it was a little short. It was actually pretty short, but the way that the episode was paced, it didn't feel short up until it ended real abruptly, and I was just like, oh, like, okay, I guess next week. But honestly, I think it seemed like it was paced that way because clearly episodes 4 and 5 are going to be major like episodes. Like, you know what I mean? Those are going to be big episodes. And I think it's eight episodes?
8 episodes. Yeah.
So yeah, clearly the turning points are going to be 4 and 5. So I'm super excited to see the next episode, especially now that we got to hear Marrok talk, and clearly he's going to be in that squad. We've seen all the trailers that him and Ahsoka get it in, and then I guess she ends up beating him and goes to go fight, Skull.
Go.
But Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like at this point, if it is Starkiller, I'm definitely apprehensive about at least that aspect of it, because if she beats him and then just goes on to fight Skull, then like I know she didn't kill him, like, you know what I mean, but he's not just gonna let her go either. So I'm like, oh man, like, oh, I don't know. But I think you actually opened up another good idea, planted another seed for your inception with your theory on who Marrok might be. Go ahead and enlighten us, Will, because once again, every time we talk, man, you blow my mind. I'm like, oh man, I didn't think of that.
Hold on, which one? I have
Every
like
time.
37. I'm gonna be honest. I have 37 my own of because I can't go to sleep at night. So I'm just like, well, maybe it could be him, or maybe no.
Well, I mean, so the last person you told me you thought it might be was gonna be Kanan, which honestly, like I kind of buy into that.
That's
too,
the worst case scenario. I think that's worse than Ezra, because one, I won't be able to emotionally recover from a Night Sister reanimating Kanan, and then you put it to the fact that because she was one of Thrawn's underling, she could have gone to Lothal. She could have gotten the body,
right,
and then she could have taken it back to Dathomir, or maybe even took it just to Cetos. So I'm just like,
right, and did her thing.
I can't, and I know Filoni has been quoted talking a lot of stuff about reunions. I was like, just stop playing. Stop playing. Because I heard this, I'm trying to remember where, some obscure website my friend sent me, and I was like, this isn't even funny. Like, this isn't even, to bring him back as a borderline zombie, I was like this is not Walking Dead. I don't need this depression in my life.
Dark. That's super dark.
Yeah.
No, and honestly though, I'm thinking Kanan's probably going to show up, but he's got to be a Force Ghost. Now the question is, who is it going to show up to? Like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. Like, is it going to be Ahsoka? Is it going to be Sabine? If anything, it's probably Sabine to kind of help her with whatever she's dealing with her Ezra thing. So that would track. So if it's not Kanan as a zombie as Marrok, who are you thinking it is now? Because for the record, and I keep saying this on pretty much every time I talk about Ahsoka, we started that, bro. That Starkiller is Marrok thing. Like, I'm gonna look at the timestamps on when we recorded versus the first video I saw, because I've seen Star Wars Theory talk about it a few times. I've seen a few other people. I think Emergency Awesome talking about it.
All of them has been after,
dude. But like, that's my whole thing. And I'm like, yo, like, if I had nearly half the audience they had, like, you know what I mean? Like, bam, I was on it, bro. We were on it. Like, but you know,
I'm still leaning towards Starkiller. Just because, again, I just think Ezra would be lazy.
Right.
But right now, I would prefer, if it's not Starkiller, just let it be a rando. You want to put somebody who Ahsoka knew from the temple? Cool. It just can't be Ezra to me. I just think because of I'll just look at it how lazy the writing is, that Disney has done it for like the fourth straight property.
Right.
Like,
no.
Dude, what? Like, can somebody get a different writer in the room? Get the dude from prison to go to Disney and just let him talk, and you guys just take notes, because this story, like, it's old already. Yes, the guy's a failure, and now his whole life, like, you know, he took Thrawn away, but he comes back as a servant of Thrawn. I was like, bro,
right? That wouldn't make any sense. If anything, I mean, I'm waiting for the writer's strike to be over, because my boy Luke Clayton, who made that What If on the sequel trilogy, like, if he don't get hired like immediately, bro, like
Kathleen Kennedy should be fired for not offering him something. Like, that's a fireable offense.
I will say this though. He was very professional when I mentioned Kathleen Kennedy in the podcast. He was like, "Oh, I mean, I would, you know, I don't think it's any one person. I would love to work with them." And I was like, "You know what? That's a better way to answer. You answer that very politically. That's your answer that very polilically."
That's a man who's trying to get paid. I respect.
Right.
I would have been like, "Yo, that chick gotta work with go."
No,
I still be unemployed. She gotta go.
Right. No, I tagged you in that post on Facebook. My boy Sean Michael Taylor. He's a comic book artist. He's another one, man. Like, with his deep knowledge and OG fandom of Star Wars, the stuff he says to me, man, I'm like, you know, you're one of the few fans like that I know that has grounded, valid opinions, and it's not just, oh, I don't like it because it's new, and it's, you know what I mean. He's like, no, here are the reasons, and here are the people involved for said reasons. He's like,
absolutely.
I'm like, you know what? Like, yeah, no, I believe you. So I'll probably have him on not on Two Guys Theorize. I'll probably have him on the My Dad's Basement podcast. For the record, that is generally received as a multiple people podcast. So I would love to get the both of you on there and we just kind of talk shop. Because you would definitely, you guys would do great in a conversation. I could only imagine. But yeah, no, if anything, man, about episode 3 though, the one of my favorite parts was definitely Ahsoka on the ship, like, you know what I mean, with the lightsabers. That was hard. It was definitely feeling that. Did you pick up on Shin and Morgan, the little tension that they had?
Oh yeah. I'm starting to think Shin is an abandoned night sister or the child of a night sister. And it's like, because the way she looked at her sideways from episode, I think it was episode 1, or I'm a night sister, and she looked at her like, this what? Like, I don't want to curse. Right. I'll try not to curse, but she was like, this is what? All right. And then that little snarky thing, she was like, congratulations, you played yourself. I was dying. I was like, wow. That's the Star Wars version of that. I love it. I love the pettiness.
Almost caught them. I was like,
yeah, good job.
Yeah, that was for sure.
That was good. So I think there's some, like, she might be, if Morgan can be a night sister and look regular, then how can you open up a whole door of people who could possibly be the same way? So.
Right. I mean, honestly, and I feel bad because now I'm gonna be pulling from that what if on the sequel trilogy for like actual like evidence. But I'm like, you saw Luke, man, like, you know what I mean? He could do the thing where you mask your age, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it may be an illusion, like, you know what I mean? Which the Forces, you know, it works in mysterious ways, man.
Mysterious ways. Oh yeah. Can we talk about really quick how menacing Baylan Skoll is, and he's not doing anything. He's just standing. He's not even looking behind him, and I'm like, why? If I was behind him, I'd be mad shook right now. He was just staring up, and I was scared to death.
Because his shoulders are always like this, bro. He's always just like,
oh, that's my guy. I love Ray Stevenson.
Yeah, and now that you pointed out the fighting style is more like with a broadsword, I'm kind of geeked to see him and Ahsoka's fight, because clearly she's got the samurai, you know what I mean, thing going. So like to see those two styles clash, whereas one is more just straight power, whereas the other one is, you know what I mean, like more of a finesse kind of thing. I want to say it might have been Star Wars Theory, and I hate like referencing other people. I think he was saying that, or maybe somebody was saying that their fight might end up being similar to how Obi-Wan ended up besting Anakin, where like although Anakin is way stronger, way more powerful, the fact that Obi-Wan is more balanced, like, you know what I mean, and he can, well, literally, but he can like, you know what I mean, like figure out how to take advantage in certain situations, like, you know what I mean, whereas Anakin or somebody who's that strong is just, you know, kind of going bull in a china shop, you know what I mean, you can kind of, you know, work around that, like, you know, like, all right, you're gonna end up messing yourself up in this. But do you think that Marrok is gonna get killed? Like, because if she gets to, you know, Skull after fighting Marrok, I mean, if he does, he becomes like that Night Sister from Fallen Order, that the Hippo one that just dies for no reason. Right.
Like, I would hope they wouldn't waste an amazing concept like that. But if you watch Tales of the Jedi with the Ahsoka, when she fought that one Inquisitor, that dude had one of the baddest looking. Wow. And he was done in 3 seconds. He was on the screen for 3 seconds and died. So maybe that's what they feel about the Inquisitors. But I hope not. But I don't want my personal, like, if it doesn't push the story, then get them out there and let's focus on the real thing. Because the real exciting thing is all the previews and clips that we saw run out after this next episode.
Right. So literally
everything. So the last 4, we have no idea what's going to happen. That's amazing. That's amazing. So
I would say usually that signals that it's clearly going to be like spoiler territory. So it's probably going to be involve either, you know, Ezra and or Starkiller, because obviously they don't want to show that. What do you think about the Starkiller theory with Sam Witwer coming out with all these videos? Are those videos like new by the way, or are people just posting those now because of
they're reposting a couple thing? Some of them are new. Like he's done some stuff recently, but most of those things are old or older.
Yeah. I mean, and here's which to me gives it validity, right? Because just like with a lot of other people that we see in certain positions in certain franchises who are major fans, their amount of knowledge and, you know what I mean, like being able to kind of piece things together ends up going a long way. Like, which is why they put Sam pretty much in everything they have, because like, oh yeah, like he's a commodity. Like, use him. Like, I mean, use him every chance we get. So for him to come up with that video explaining how Starkiller could be canonized, all I could think was like, man, initially thinking it was new, I was like, man, like I would buy into it even more because that makes sense. But like, no, he wouldn't just go and just say it if that's what was done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but after Andrew Garfield in No Way Home and him blatantly lying, like, I don't believe anybody anymore. Like, so I'm like, no, he could be playing us. He could be playing us.
Yeah, he could be, but I respect him and the fact that he's a hardcore Star Wars fan. I mean, the story with him correcting Dave Filoni, about
how he got the job,
Anakin, and I wish you could see her mom.
I
love that.
Like,
I was like,
they already met, bro.
They met. I mean, and even though there is a way for Filoni to would have gotten around that, to be like, yeah, but they didn't meet as a couple. She just knew him from the shop. Right. As we know, the toxic part, because every fandom has some toxic. Not all of Star Wars is toxic, but the toxic part would have lost their minds and they would have chirped thousands of hours a week, like, oh, she knew. But so that's a good save, and that shows that he really is. I loved his comments on The Last Jedi. When he talks about Luke, he's like, that guy who threw his lightsaber down in front of his enemy because he's not going to kill his sister's and best friend's son. I was like,
right.
That's
That's not the character that we're looking at.
Yeah, he gets it. He definitely gets it.
So I'm curious, man, like about who else might end up showing up in the show, because like if they don't do Starkiller, right? Once again, wasted opportunity. But if they do him as Marrok and Ahsoka, like, so that's what I'm saying. So what do you think happens there? Like, if Ahsoka beats Marrok, and if it isn't a random and it is like Starkiller or I mean, because if it's not Starkiller and it's like a Kanan or an Ezra type of situation, obviously it's a knockout, take it back to the ship kind of situation. But if it's someone
there's a lot of cliffs. There's a lot of cliffs on that planet. So you can push the crap out of somebody and be like, listen, I don't have time for you right now, which would be the urgency that she would have to try to find the map.
Right.
If she needs, so it's built into the plot to be like, you're alive because I didn't have time to kill you. Let me throw you off something.
Right.
Swim with some Purgles. Whatever you got to do. I got to get to the star map, because that's still the goal. The number one goal for them is not about doing this, finding Purgles. It's the star map. So that'll give her a plot armor to just be like, all right, I can't mess with you right now. And if she nerfs him, then it definitely can't be Starkiller, because that'll be a little too much. Like we talked last episode, he's going to be downgraded in power, but not like where she like one shots him. Okay, get out of here.
Like that much. Right.
Like she did in Tales of the
Jedi. No, I mean, and I get it. Like Ahsoka, in general, like, I mean, that they have kind of built her character up to be, top tier, obviously, because she's Anakin's apprentice, and clearly we've seen with Starkiller what that looks like. You know what I mean, to the extreme. But I would imagine though that if it is Starkiller and she does, beat him, and this obviously isn't the end for Starkiller, I would imagine they would kind of treat him like a tweener almost, where he's not a bad guy, but he's not fully a good guy either. But like at the end of the day, whenever the big crux of the story happens, whether it's Thrawn or whoever, that it'll pretty much he'll end up siding with Ahsoka and them, and then hopefully, ideally, we get some kind of like Ahsoka and Starkiller team up, like, you know what I mean, where them fighting whoever else is, like, you know what I mean, the threat at the time.
Are you trying to kill Freddie Prinze Jr.? Because what you're talking about is a great Jedi. What you're talking about is a great Jedi, and he's gonna get it. He's hearing this right now, like in his spirit somewhere, and he's throwing up. He despises that idea, but that's exactly what you're describing, and which Ahsoka really pretty much is.
Right, and so that's my whole thing, right? Is because obviously us playing, Old Republic and just everything past that, and like even like with not Kyle Katarn exactly, but like with Jolie, Bindo, and then Okay,
He was
right. So, I
great
mean,
for a
that
while.
makes sense though. So
It
like
does.
with him, Jolie Bindo, like you know, what I mean, Revan and all that kind of stuff, and you know, all the other people that we've seen in that. I think it's just like what Ahsoka was saying about Sabine. Call it, you know, she doesn't have to be a Jedi. Call it whatever you want to. If
Yeah.
she's using a lightsaber and can use the Force, like you know what I mean, like she a Jedi. Like sure, she a Mando Jedi, but she a Jedi, bro. Like
Which would be the total definition of a great Jedi. A Mandalorian to be like, I'm not a bounty hunter, but I got my code. You got your
right,
code. They don't interact too much. If I got to
right,
shoot this
right.
dude to save somebody,
That's what
you
I'm
know,
gonna do. Right,
like
right.
he's gonna lose something. You know,
Right,
and
right,
so
right.
that would fit. I just hope a really cool Kanan story would be that he comes back as a Force ghost. And I know you remember when in Clone Wars when Mother Talzin was abducting people's life force so that she can
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
the
yeah.
living force.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he
yeah.
gives her a touch and that kind of I don't want her OP, but just give her a more serious. I mean, they did it
Connection
with
to the
Rey.
Force.
They did it with Rey touching Kylo, so you can do it again with a Force
Yeah.
ghost. You know what I'm saying? It's more plausible with a Force ghost.
I was gonna say that whole little subplot they had with them two, man, like I I randomly would think about it sometimes. I'm like, none of that makes any sense. I'm like, and not that it has to necessarily make sense, but like you're not even giving me anything grounded to stand on to even jump that. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm like, all right, well, that's
They
cool.
ruined that. Like a Force dyad is something from the EU.
Right, right, right,
That's
right,
like the
right.
whole point of like Bane when he said two, like this thing, like yeah, we can feed off each other and this and that, and they glossed over in Star Wars time about 5,000 years of history to be like, okay, yeah, they touch fingers like ET, and all of a sudden now
They can do it. Right,
she's a
right, right.
master Jedi. I was like, oh my.
Right. Yeah. 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 I mean, yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of missed opportunities with that sequel
Yeah.
trilogy. So once again, anybody who hasn't watched the What If episodes 7 through 9, we're also going to YouTube and watch those immediately. The channel is at prism.stories, I believe.
No,
Instagram
it's
is
just
prism.
Prism
Oh,
Incorporated, I
okay.
think.
So
Prism Inc.
I'd say okay. Yeah, I was gonna say prism.inc. But prism is generally what you're looking for. If you go on Instagram, I think that's prism.inc. But yeah, if you check my page, it's everywhere though. That needs to be your new sequel trilogy canonized. Like if you haven't seen it, once you do, I actually told a friend of mine, like anybody who I'm showing Star Wars, like if we watch the prequels and the original trilogy, that's what I'm showing them for the sequels. I'm not showing them
Yeah.
the movies, I'm showing them those. Like this is
Yeah.
what the sequels are. This is what you're going off of. Take that, have fun. But yeah, we're not
Yeah.
going down that route.
Don't spend money on a DVD. Don't spend money on Disney Plus if that's what you're gonna watch. Just
yeah, no, just don't even do it, bro. YouTube,
YouTube
I
it. Just
got you,
YouTube
bro.
it.
I got you. I got you. But yeah, no, man. I'm definitely interested to see where the show is going
Yeah.
because the first 3 episodes we got were amazing. Albeit, like I said, the last one was short. Definitely gave me the feeling that, like I said, it feels more like a movie with kind of like the pacing and the budget. But once again, like you said, now that I'm thinking about it, everything we've seen has been from the first 4 episodes. So the last half of the season is going to be a
It's
complete
gonna be
mystery.
wild. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be wild.
yeah.
I mean, they spent 15 minutes almost. It felt like 15 minutes out of a 30-minute episode in an amazing dogfight. So
Yeah.
if you can do that for that you say, we're gonna set something up for this specifically, even though the fact that a Mandalorian is shocked that she hit somebody with a gun in when Sabine was in the back, I was like, time out.
You shouldn't be excited.
That's what Mandalorians do.
Right. This is
Unless
Tuesday
she
for
was
you.
trying to use the Force or channel something, okay. But I was like, she should not be, hey, I got one because I can turn on Rebels right now, and I have about 5 episodes off the top of my head that she blew somebody out the sky.
Right. So and my whole thing with that too is the whole idea of Sabine. Oh God, I lost it. I'm trying to fix my camera. The whole idea with Sabine in general, just kind of being super unsure about herself. I get it with the Jedi stuff, but like, I'm like, dude, you've been doing this, especially next to Ahsoka, for like, you did that like for some years, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you in this ship should be a piece of cake, is like you said, especially with the fighting. I get it, your personal preferences aren't, calibrated, but like you said, you're Mando. you shoot things for a living, bro. Like that's literally
Word.
like what you do. Like
It's part of your religion, just like like Din Djarin said, weapons are my religion. You're automatic.
yeah,
You're automatic.
yeah, no.
So
Why am I
that was
stuck?
I now downgraded to 8.5. I think I'll downgrade the episode a whole half a point for that because that was just
What
silliness.
is going on?
I hear you though.
Oh yeah, so I plugged up my phone because my phone is like on its way out. I'm using that for my camera because it's a better quality than the computer. But no, we're good for a few more minutes at least. But yeah, no, I was going to say, but yeah, Sabine and Ahsoka, their little arc that they have in their relationship.
I love it. I love the tension.
Their relationship is definitely interesting. Yeah, no, it's interesting because it's not as clean as like Luke and old Ben, like, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, oh, like what can I do to help? And it's like, all right, young one, let me show you. This is like, look, I need you to go ahead and do the thing, bro, because I gotta go do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to be on it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm super curious where it's all going though.
It's just like
no, go ahead.
I hope I'm saying it right. Hugh Yang says you come from a long line of what was it? Different or Jedi. What do you say? A long line of unusual Jedi.
Non-traditional Jedi.
Non-traditional. That was the relationship that Qui-Gon had with Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan had with Anakin. Anakin had with Ahsoka. So now, they're keeping that tradition. There's always a pain in the rear end apprenticeship, and that's. I think that's good that they're keeping that lineage. Like in the future, Luke and Ben had that. I'm sure had that same kind of, before everything went to crap in the horrible writing. But I'm sure they had the same kind of relationship.
Right. And it made me think about because I used to read the Obi-Wan books back in the day, like when he first got picked up by Qui-Gon and everything. So I read a few of those and seeing their dynamic fleshed out even more, like, you know what I mean, than what the movies did. Like all I can think is like, man, like I would love to be able just to see it, like, you know what I mean? Because I could when I was reading it, but yeah, no, their relationships were their relationship in particular is definitely one of my favorites as far as apprentice and master, especially looking at Obi-Wan basically becoming, like I said, the ideal Jedi. Like if you were to look up Jedi in the dictionary, it would be a picture of
Obi-Wan's face.
Like like it's literally the balance of being able to be compassionate and care about people and have those relationships, but without letting it guide your decisions and emotions to a point of, like, you know what I mean, like pretty much self-destruction. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I'm not gonna do all that. So I mean, no, it's definitely something that I thought about too. As soon as he said it, I started going down the line. I was like, all right, so you got Anakin and then Obi-Wan and then Qui-Gon. I was like, okay, that tracks. All that tracks.
Qui-Gon and Dooku was a wild,
right.
pairing too from Tales of the Jedi. I was like, yo, this is
that
episode
was good. Real. That episode was good.
Oh.
That episode was really good.
So good. That's what I envisioned powerful relationships being. Like, you got skill, but you still need to learn. And the young one, well, I got skill. I really can't learn too much from you. I mean, so hurry up and teach me so I can like the tension was always. Yeah, let me do my thing and I'll show you. Like, you don't got to teach me. Let me show you.
Right. And we see how that goes most of the time. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was showing I can't remember who it was, a friend of mine, but I think I was telling him something. Oh, it might have been when she fought the HKs in the one of the first two episodes. Oh, yeah. But the idea that Anakin training Ahsoka so hard, like, I mean, it's the only reason she survived Order 66. Yes. I was like, yep, like, and so they were confused. They were like, so did he like know it was coming? And I'm like, no, he didn't know then that this was going to be a thing. It just so happens, like, you know what I mean, that I'm training you for this, like, I mean, because you keep getting your butt kicked, like, you know what I mean, and I'm not going to be there to save you. And then lo and behold, he's not there because he's the one doing the butt kicking, basically.
She makes it. Yeah, no, like that's one of my favorite episodes in Clone Wars where he's just like, listen, this training isn't going to help. The Jedi training isn't going to help you win. I was like, wow. I mean, he said it. He would have said it right in front of Mace Windu's face, like, yeah, this training is garbage. I'm going to train her. And because of that, harsh for hours, getting shot at point blank. When the clones were there, I was like, wow, this is better than practice, because now, when she was doing that whole
thing. Yeah, this
She
is
got
what
hit maybe
literally
4
what
times.
she did.
Yeah,
Right,
maybe
right,
4
right.
times for like 25 minutes of getting shot at. I was like, all right, girl, you legit, like you certified
Right.
now. You may have walked away, but you certified.
Yeah. So let me get your quick predictions on the second, not only just episode 4, but what do you think might happen after that?
I think in the next two episodes or 3 episodes at most, we're going to see Thrawn in this galaxy, or at least in the Eye of Sion.
Right,
Like,
right.
we're gonna see them, and he's gonna come back. Nobody's gonna believe, kind of like the Voldemort. Nobody's gonna believe
Until
that
he's
he's
there,
back.
it's like he's back.
And then something's getting blown up. Some
Oh
important
yeah.
place is gonna get blown up, and he's gonna make his grand entrance.
Is
And that's gonna
Corelli
lead.
still around in the sequel
Yes,
trilogy?
that's where they were. That Corellia still around?
I was gonna say, is it still around then? Because I'm thinking like that wouldn't be a bad place
I
to
believe
blow
so.
up.
No, they wouldn't do that because
Okay.
they want that. They want that for the ships. They still want to. They can just
shipyard.
take it over and build the ship. Yeah. So
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we'll see that. I think we'll see obviously Marrok some identity. Either next 2 episodes we're going to see who he is, and then I think we're going to see Ezra in episode after.
Episode 5.
Whatever episode Thrawn comes in, I think we're going to see him after the episode. So I think.
So you think
I
we'll
don't
get
think
Thrawn?
we're going to see. Yeah, we'll get Thrawn first, and then I don't think we're going to see.
No, wait.
Like Ezra's going to be in like 2 episodes tops. I'll be shocked if he's more than 2 episode tops, unless of course he's Marrok, and then I'm just going to break something in my house. But as long as that doesn't play out, I think we're going to see him towards the end, where he's getting, he's been fighting him, but he lost. He's back, and he's going to team up with, he's going to talk to Ahsoka and Sabine, and I can see him learning something from that galaxy. Like if he comes with like a Revan mask or something like that, or like I said, flying in, like I told you, flying with the Ebon Hawk. If he comes flying in the Ebon Hawk, I'm good with the show. I don't. Ezra could be Marrok as long as he's flying the. I don't care. If I see the Ebon Hawk, I'm good with the series. I don't even need to watch anymore, and it's getting a 10 out of 10 for me.
Right.
If I think something in that universe, in that galaxy, is going to lead to Knights of the Old Republic. They're going to mention the exile. They're going to mention something,
or the Ratakan Empire, the old Ratakan
yes,
Empire.
I think that's who. I think that's who they're going. That's who they're going to. They've fallen already. Yeah,
right. Because we were thinking that. Well, I was thinking the Yuzhan Vong at first is who they were talking about, like as far as like that connecting tissue to that ancient civilization, from that other galaxy. I'm like, okay, it's probably them. That way you can segue them a little bit easier.
No, I think that's for Rey.
Right. But yeah, if they bring in the Rakatans, because if that's the whole thing, if they do go that route, I mean, which is plausible because they've been doing a lot of Old Republic stuff in Ahsoka, the Star Map, like you said, the Eye of
Sion.
what's his name? Yeah, the Eye of Sion. Yeah, so how about I didn't even recognize it? Like I was like, damn, that's a big ass jump gate, and then I saw a picture about it with him next to it, and I was like, oh yeah, like forgot about that, like. I mean, because when I think Old Republic, I always jump to the first game, and I always think Starforge. Like I'm like, all right, so Old Republic, Starforge, Revan, got it. I honestly I enjoyed the second one, but it just didn't have the same impact on me as the first one did.
Well, the second one is the more fun game to play. The Knights of Old Republic 1 is the better game.
The better story. Right.
But the second one is more like I've spent so many. I have it on my Switch. I've spent so many times turning my entire. Yeah.
So I just saw that part 1 was on there like the other day. Now I'm like,
oh yeah, bro,
buy it. Yeah.
They have everything. It's so good, bro. I made but the thing in part 2 is that you can make most of your companions. You can make them Jedi. There's a way to talk to them. So I had a whole squad when I first played through. I was like, hold on, how can I get this person to be there? Because it came out on the iPad before the Switch. I was like, damn. I saw a video, you could turn them. How can you do that? I finally discovered how to get what's the assassin girl's name? Kira to be a Jedi. Yeah. I finally got what's that bum's name? The crazy one that Kreia always hates. Atten.
yeah.
I got Atten as my. I've gotten as a good guy and a girl. I've gotten the disciple to join me.
Yeah.
I've gotten like everybody. Oh, Baildor. I got him to be a Jedi. I got all of them.
I'll say, you're teaching me new stuff, man. I didn't know you could even do that in the second one. Like I said, I haven't played the second one. I'm probably gonna have to buy it now, man, because like I said, I'm almost done with the first one. I'm playing it on my phone. I just got to Korriban. That's all with the last planet that I do, and like, and this playthrough also was the first time I'd ever saw the space station where you can go and buy stuff. I had never seen that before.
Oh, that little thing of Yavin 4?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Like, I had never seen that when it originally was out. I guess that wasn't there. So seeing it now, I definitely saved up my ducats for like 2 planets to get like a couple of suits of armor because I was like, yo, that's dope. Like, I want that. Like, I need that. Like, that's fine.
Did you? Oh, in the second one, let me give you a little spoiler. When you go to How Nutter, you can. I've replayed it 5 times so I can get the right suit. Like, you can get Ulick Kie. I can't remember. The old Jedi from the Tales of the Jedi, the Ulick de Loma.
Yeah.
You can get his armor. I've gotten Exarch Kun armor from the Switch.
I remember seeing it, but I don't remember. I remember seeing it, but I don't think I could get it.
It's a random drop. Like, once you're going through the arena to go back in, before you go in, you go to the side. There's 2 ways. You got to go into there, bro. I was like, oh, I didn't get it. Go back,
reset, right?
Try to reset. I want this armor again. And there's some wild, like, the best is the PC because they have some wild mods. They had some. I even had a Darth Malik. Darth Malik, his uniform. I was like,
the costume.
Yeah. There's even the computer in the mods. They have a Starkiller costume, even though it has nothing to do with Starkiller. It's just black, but it has lights. It glows all the way down.
Like the chest. Yeah.
I was like, yes.
Hell, that's what one of the costumes in the first one looks like to me. It's like a body, so like almost like a flight suit kind of thing. And I was like, yo, yeah, this is definitely. It also didn't help that my character had like the buzz cut, like with the scar down the eye. I was like, yep, no, but it's like variant Starkiller.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm really hoping, man, that it is him, because I feel like if it is him, between Starkiller and them doing all this Old Republic stuff, if we can get Starkiller and Revan canonized and at least done some kind of justice, like, I'll be happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at this point, I was talking to the dude, my homeboy Sean, the other day, and he basically, during our discussion, I was like, so are Star Wars fans just gluttons for punishment? He's like, yeah, I think we are, dude. Like, I think we are.
We're the Mets fans. We're the Mets fan of sci-fi. We're the Mets fan. I'm a Mets fan, so I know this is very similar.
I'll say, or the Washington football team, the Commanders now, as they're calling them. It's the same thing. Like, you're a glutton for punishment, bro. Like, you're setting yourself up.
Glutton. But it would be like, just give me 3 minutes of a history of Revan. You don't gotta show me nothing. You're like, yeah, you know, this Jedi, they don't know what he was. If he was a dark Jedi, a Sith, like, cool. I know you talking about Revan. Like, you didn't even have to mention his name. I'm good. Just show me the Ebon Hawk, like a little bit of the cockpit, and I'm good to go. That's all I need.
I mean, but there would have to be. I feel so bad, man, because my dude Luke Clayton from Prism spoiled me, and I'm like, because no, you would have to be able to explain that like in full, right? Because I'm like, Revan the Redeemed, bro. This is who you use as the example of, using the Jedi teachings, but not necessarily following it and not being a Sith. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the person you use to be like, yo, you can do this without being black or white. Like,
yeah, no, he was a great character. Like, I love, as much as they're terrible, the fan movies, live action fan films on YouTube.
Yeah,
I watch them all. I watch them all. I was like, these are terrible. What's the next one?
Right.
And I'm eating popcorn watching it. It's so, especially this one with Revan, where he's fighting this Jedi girl and he forces her to use lightning. He was like, it felt good, right? You know what? Remember that. I may need you. And like walks off. I was like, that's totally a Revan. That's totally a Revan line that he would use. Like, so it is good with the light, but I think that's going to be too much on the nose for them, for Disney, because they they want their creations to be the ones that are like that. But just give a little, a little tip of the cap.
That's all you got to do is like, look, There was this
Not
guy
fan
a long
service.
time ago. There was a
Yeah,
guy a
you don't
long
gotta give me
time
fan
ago who
service.
did this.
Yeah, don't give me fan service. Just respect my fandom. I don't need fan. Just respect my fandom. Put them in there. I've downloaded Knights of Old Republic and about 18 different things. I'm still upset at limited run games because I ordered the special edition of the first one and the second one,
Oh,
and they had to cancel. I had to cancel it for the Switch. I had to cancel it.
Damn.
I was
What was coming with it?
I was getting 2 miniature lightsabers of Revan. I was getting a vibroblade letter cutter.
Oh, that's
deck,
cool.
A Bazak deck, a dope poster. Yeah,
so
they violated something.
So you have picked up on. I mean, I noticed that back at Mando when they put out their vibro blades. I was like, oh shit, they gave him vibro blades. I was like, that's dope.
Keep it alive.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so that was one of my first hints of them kind of trying to canonize Old Republic kind of stuff because I'm like, this hasn't come up before. Like, you know what I mean? And vibro blades are the best way to make it make sense that a regular person who's not a Jedi can go toe to toe with someone with a lightsaber because. You know what I mean? Because anything else, the lightsaber is supposed to be cutting through it, but one of those, scientifically proven to be able to stand up to it. So,
that's
if anything, I'm hoping that they come out with that Old Republic remake, man. Because I'm geeking and waiting for that, bro. Like I am dying.
They pushed it back again, right? Now they're doing, but Dark Forces is getting remastered.
Is that getting remastered?
Yeah, they had officially announced it. My only issue with that is I was like, I can't play with a lightsaber. I'm sorry, I'm that Star Wars guy. I don't care about a gun but if I can't get a lightsaber, I'm not playing Outlaws because of that.
So the only reason, I mean, I'm definitely gonna play it because I love the idea of the open world system for something like Star Wars, because Star Wars is perfect for something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, and I get a lot of times where people being like, oh. Like why people liked a lot of Rogue One outside of it just being a fantastic film, put together. For me personally, not that a good Star Wars movie or story has to have Jedi or lightsabers in it, but to be honest, that's kind of why I'm going. Like you know what I mean? Like I want to see that.
I want to see it.
So I mean, and I didn't like Rogue One for a few different reasons. I'll make this part brief, but I thought it's a great movie. I'm just not a big fan of it. I'll be honest. I'm in the minority where I prefer Solo over Rogue One. I watched Solo way before I watched Rogue One. To me, Ron Howard can do no wrong, and it's just well paced and it's a good time. Sure, it has its issues with it, but Rogue One for me, I wasn't invested into any of the characters.
I was hoping all of them died. I was rooting for them to die. I was like, I want all these people away.
But that's the thing. Even going into it, I kind of assumed they all did because I'm like, well, I've never heard of any of these characters and anything else post this. So I'm like, nah, these are probably the guys who died getting the plans and looking at how big bad the Empire is. I'm like, yeah, they probably not gonna make it out of there because how could you and then outside of that, my other biggest beef with the entire movie, which is probably why I hate it so much, is because I figured going into it that Donnie Yen was gonna, be a Jedi, right? Because I mean, you got one of the greatest martial artists in movie history in your movie. Why wouldn't you give him a lightsaber, right? Because let him have fun, let him do his thing with a lightsaber. And on top of that,
whatever it is,
right. And on top of that, I'm figuring because they're all gonna die. All right, so have it be something like where towards the end and they've got the plans and they're trying to get back to their ship. Like, he's like, you guys go ahead, I'll hold them off. So we get a good 5 or 10 minute fight scene of Donnie Yen fighting Darth Vader. Like, I mean, granted, we know he's not going to win, but we get to see Donnie Yen go off as a Jedi. Like, I mean, trying to fight Darth Vader, and he just gets because it's Darth Vader. That to me would have made the movie. The best part to me was the last 30 seconds with Vader in the hallway. That's basically by the time the movie was over. That's what I felt like I paid to go see. I was like, all right, okay, I got that. I'm happy.
I got my money's worth. Yeah, no. Again, we talk about wasted opportunities. How do you have him not with a lightsaber, but repeating this that I don't want to say stupid mantra, but it's a stupid mantra. I am the Force. The Force is I was like, bro, what are you doing?
Right.
Give him the Darth Maul moment where he finally busts it out and like 2 lightsabers come out. Lightsaber nunchucks. I don't care how you do it.
Right.
And they were just nah, that's fan service. No, that's respecting your fandom. That's respecting. There's a difference. Disney doesn't know how to do that difference.
Well, no. So now I don't want to say that. Like not with Disney
I
as a
say that.
whole. I don't want to say that with Disney as a whole because Disney, as far as the Marvel stuff goes, they listen to the fans. They do listen on the Marvel stuff. They do listen. Now with the Star Wars stuff, not so much. Now obviously with
Phase 4
Squadron,
is all I have to say to you, sir. Phase 4 is garbage.
So look. I'll give a brief explanation for that before we wrap it up. I've been saying ever since the Fox acquisition that it was going to be a little rocky because they're not going to just stop this 10 years worth of great storytelling and just throw in these characters that we and they want to see. And granted, they have to change and alter the plan to get us to that point of Secret Wars, to get this one connected universe, or do the multiverse movies like No Way Home or Multiverse of Madness, or whatever else. I'm not going to be overly critical until after Secret Wars. Like once we have one actual connected universe where you have no excuse now, like the same thing that Warner Brothers has had forever. Like, yeah, now I'll be critical because before you're literally trying to make it work because like, okay, we don't have this and we don't have this person, so we'll kind of make it work. Now you got everybody. Once you get your cohesive story together and you wrap all this up with your multiverse and all that, now I'm going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Marking the paper with the pen, with the red pen. Like, all right, you messed that up. You messed that up. But
you're nicer than me.
Digress.
You're better. You're better than me. You're better.
I digress.
I'm nothing but fire and brimstone on them right now. Nothing.
Well, yeah. Well, all right, man. If anything, guys, thanks for listening. This has been Two Guys Theorize episode 3. Talking about Ahsoka episode 3. And if anything, we'll definitely be back next week. I think next Wednesday that's my birthday, bro. So we'll do a podcast on my birthday.
I better see a birthday hat and some cake. Look, you better tell baby girl to put some cake on your eyeball or something. That's all I'm saying.
Look, I'm telling you right now, man. I'm not gonna tell you how old I am.
No. We don't need to know. We don't need to know. I just need to see some sort of mascara mess up or something.
Some type of birthday shenanigans. I got you, bro. But yeah, no, yes, we'll definitely do this again Wednesday, and hopefully, man, if we can get some traction, I would love to try to do one of these live so we can actually get like some people interacting with us and talking to us. That'd be cool.
Yeah, some people ask the question, be like, "You crazy?" Right? Somebody saying that we crazy.
That's the thing, right? Because because I see the video. I mean, I see the comments on some of the videos I make, and I'm like, man, like I need to do a response to this. So they're like, man, if I can only imagine. Shit, here we go. My camera just died again. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and call it right here. But yeah, hopefully we'll be back. We'll be back next week though. But all right, well, thanks, man, and thanks everybody else for
anytime. Much appreciated. God bless everybody. Be good.
Time. Thanks for watching. Hey, you seem pretty cool. So become a basement dweller and join us in My Dad's Basement, underground for nerd pop culture.